Today's news highlights. Date March 25, 2025. News highlights: U.S. President Donald Trump plans to impose reciprocal tariffs on April 2, with scholars questioning their impact on the trade deficit. First, there is no huge gap between U.S. trade tariffs and other countries, and there are high tariff and non-tariff barriers of their own. Second, the decline in U.S. trade dominance has limited impact on some countries. In addition, the 25% tariff may not be enough to encourage companies to return to the market, and higher tariffs and subsidies will be required. Finally, the Trump team is pushing too fast, and it will take time to research and implement. The White House has highlighted that a number of companies have responded to its policy by committing to large-scale investments. News highlights: the DGX Spark, a personal AI supercomputer jointly built by NVIDIA and MediaTek, is available for pre-order at $3,999 and is expected to ship as soon as May. Powered by the GB10 superchip, the DGX Spark is palm-sized, weighs 1.2 kilograms, and comes with 4 TB of storage space for the premium version. MediaTek is responsible for CPU development, and supply chains such as TSMC, Wistron, and ASUS have benefited. NVIDIA is also promoting DGX Station, which expands personal AI applications and enables developers to prototype and reason about AI models on the desktop. News highlights: as the mortgage level is lower than that of its peers, Wangdao Bank actively undertakes housing loans, aiming to maintain double-digit growth, with interest rates ranging from 2.5% to 3%, which is lower than that of some large banks. In the past, it was conservative due to low mortgage profits, but now it is adjusting its strategy due to tight funds and rising interest rates. In 2024, the balance of housing loans will increase by 19% to 19 billion yuan, and it will continue to grow in 2025. The real estate lending level of Wangdao is only 20%, and there is still room for the upper limit of 30%, which can flexibly expand the housing loan business and attract people in need to apply for loans. News highlights: the recent surge in gold prices has prompted the IRS to warn traders to be aware of tax rules. Physical gold trading is a one-time trading income, which is included in the income at 6% of the selling price, and the tax rate is 5% to 40%. Gold passbooks and overloads are property transactions, and the difference between the bid-ask price is taxable and can be deducted for losses within 3 years. Gold funds are classified according to domestic and foreign. Domestic tax exemption, and overseas income exceeding 1 million yuan is subject to a 20% tax rate. A 20% business tax is applicable to companies engaged in gold trading. Investors are advised to keep proper transaction records to ensure correct reporting and avoid violations. News highlights: U.S. Treasury Secretary Benson criticized the government's excessive spending and regulation, which has led to an increase in the economic burden, and proposed 3 major plans: cutting government spending and deregulating to promote private sector development, reshaping international trade and raising tariffs to attract manufacturing back, reduce tax burden and regulation to promote investment and economic growth. He believes that if successfully implemented, inflation and interest rates will fall and the economy will recover. In addition, he supports the Fed's independence, but believes that its supervision of small and medium-sized banks should be more lenient. News highlights: the Global Taiwan Research Center, GDI, a think tank in Washington, warned that the CCP has launched 3 secret operations against Taiwan: intelligence, cyber, and united front, in an attempt to weaken Taiwan's will to resist. The report recommends the establishment of a registration mechanism for foreign agents, increased penalties for espionage, and strengthened supervision of officials' visits to China, requiring public itineraries and prohibiting closed-door meetings. Author James Mattis pointed out that if these actions are not contained, Taiwan risks internal disintegration, and drawing on the experience of the United States, suggested that unregistered foreign agents should be considered a criminal offense to promote transparency and national security. News highlights: the Taiwan Power Tariff Review Committee will be held before the end of March to deduce 3 sets of electricity price adjustment plans. If the legislative yuan allocates 100 billion yuan, the electricity price will not be raised. Without subsidies, electricity prices will rise by an average of 6% or less to mitigate the impact of inflation. With a cumulative loss of RMB 422.9 billion and a surge in interest expenses, the legislator suggested that the burden be reduced through fiscal means, and the Ministry of Economic Affairs considered issuing perpetual bonds to reduce interest by 40%. The nuclear energy policy still follows the 3 principles of national consensus: nuclear waste disposal and safety, and the Ministry of Economic Affairs stressed that the position of nuclear power has not changed, and denied that Taipower Tolai Pacific Energy Company. News highlights: there is currently no scientific evidence to support the prediction of a mega-earthquake or New World uplift off the coast of Japan in July 2025. Seismologists point out that the center of the Philippine Sea Plate is not a major site of seismic and volcanic activity, and that it is extremely rare for an earthquake of magnitude 9 or 10 to cause a cataclysmic change in the Earth's crust. In addition, Japan has a well-established earthquake monitoring system, and if there is an abnormality, the official will issue an alarm in time. So, instead of worrying about prophecy, focus on disaster preparedness and ensure resilience to any possible natural disaster. News highlights: aortic detachment is a life-threatening cardiovascular condition with symptoms including severe chest pain, chest tightness, back pain, or foot weakness. High blood pressure, smoking, diabetes, and hyperlipidemia are high-risk factors. Preventive measures include controlling blood pressure, exercising regularly and eating a healthy diet, and avoiding sudden cold stimuli. If you have any abnormal symptoms, you should seek medical attention immediately. News highlights: on March 18, the U.S. National Archives and Records Administration released more than 63,000 pages of documents related to the JFK assassination, revealing Cold War-era espionage activities and some personal information, sparking a privacy controversy. Despite historians' expectations for new clues, the document does not provide significant new evidence to overturn the conclusion that Oswald was a lone perpetrator. The declassification of these documents not only reheated conspiracy theories, but also revealed that the CIA had recommended disbandment and revealed the secret operations of the U.S. government. Scholars have criticized the hasty release of the archives, the lack of search indexes, and the leakage of personal information in some of the materials. News highlights: the Kuomintang caucus pointed out that in recent years, the government has subsidized Taiwan Power by more than 300 billion yuan, but electricity prices have continued to rise. Taipower explained that the additional 250 billion yuan was not a subsidy, but was used for the Stable Power Supply Construction Plan, which could not make up for the loss. Taipower said that international fuel prices have skyrocketed, and electricity prices do not fully reflect the cost, and it needs to maintain financial stability through subsidies. Taipower also pointed out that the decommissioning of nuclear energy is not the main reason for the loss, and the fuel price is still higher than the pre-epidemic level, and if the electricity price does not reflect the cost for a long time, Taipower will continue to lose money. News highlights: inheritance tax is divided into 3 bands based on the net amount of the estate, which can be up to 20%. The tax exemption is 13.33 million yuan, and the deduction amount is 5.53 million yuan for spouses and 560,000 yuan for children. After the death of the spouse, the surviving spouse can use the claim for the distribution of the remaining property to save taxes. Premortem planning methods include keeping the value of assets down, giving away from year to year, and making good use of insurance instruments to help reduce your tax burden. News highlights: Fan Wiki, Fan Fan, and Chen Jianzhou, Black, have been married for 14 years and have 10-year-old twin sons, Fi Fei and Xiang Xiang. The two inherited their parents' long-legged genes and were 150 centimeters and 142 centimeters tall respectively. Recently, the black man drove a Mercedes G63 worth 8.65 million to pick up his son from school and return to a mansion worth 150 million in Zhongzheng district. The twins attend a private bilingual school, with a tuition fee of about 410,000 yuan per semester. Fan Wiki recently appeared at Daewon Airport and was ready to take a flight to overseas business performances. News highlights: the South Korean YouTube channel Haengji Research Institute alludes to Kim So-hyun in the form of a cartoon depicting an adult man's relationship with an underage girl, involving intimate acts, selfie exchanges and inappropriate requests. The man in the comic says that he asks the girl for sexy photos because he is lonely and threatens to break up to force the girl to obey. The incident aroused the attention of netizens. Some felt that Kim So-hyun's image was damaged, while others believed that the comic lacked evidence and questioned its authenticity. News highlights: Komatsumoto Guo, a female student in the psychology department of a Japanese university, decided to shoot an AV video to explore whether women can get pleasure when they have sex with men they don't love in order to write their graduation thesis. She was banned after exposing the matter on the X platform, and then turned to IG and Douyin to express her opinion, and will hold a premiere in Tokyo on April 10. Komatsu said that he is serious about this industry and hopes to understand the psychology of women through personal experience. Activities will limit adult participation and emphasize the ability to bring more authentic feelings and emotional exchanges. News highlights: actress Xiaowu, Yu Junai, was terminated by the brokerage company because of the rumor that Hugo had a close relationship with the assistant host Song Yubeo. Xiaowu later said that he was betrayed by his girlfriend and apologized to Song Yu. However, Song Yue publicly refuted today, asking Xiaowu to admit that she had spread rumors and questioning her failure to take responsibility. Song Yubeo accused Xiaowu of causing significant damage to her reputation and said that Xiaowu was unwilling to face her mistakes honestly in the process. She emphasized that she had tried to communicate with Xiaowu several times, but did not get a sincere response, and was unhappy about it. News highlights: mainland entrepreneur Zhang Lan and her son Wang Xiaofei were banned by Douyin officials indefinitely on the 8th of last month, and Zhang Lan initially expressed her disagreement and was worried about affecting the income of her 8,000 families. However, she recently changed her story and said that the title is very good, quite wise, thinking that it is a protection for them. She revealed that the encouragement from her children gave her back motivation and stressed that she has always been above board in her business. Zhang Lan also mentioned don't interfere in the cause and effect of others, believing that her life's struggle is worthy of it. Douyin previously announced that they used the deceased to hype, false marketing and other behaviors, and they have been punished many times and have not been corrected. News highlights pediatrician Wu Hanmen warns parents of the risks associated with homemade nasal vapping devices through online teaching. A parent used hot water and a thermos flask to make a nasal steamer for the baby to relieve nasal congestion according to the online teaching, but accidentally spilled the hot water, causing the baby to burn. Physician Wu reminds parents that if their baby has nasal congestion, they should follow 3 safe measures: visit a doctor to understand the cause, increase indoor humidity, use a qualified nebulizer, and avoid using unsafe homemade appliances. News highlights Yaya, the Chinese spouse, was ordered to leave Taiwan for making remarks on military reunification, and today is the deadline. Yaya said she had no intention of leaving and planned to apply to the Ministry of the Interior to revoke the sanction. In this regard, Zhou Rongta, president of the Executive Yuan, said that the relevant matters will be handled by the Ministry of the Interior in accordance with the regulations on cross-strait people's relations. He stressed that freedom of expression should be bounded, especially in the context of the existence of the country, and national security needs to be guaranteed as a priority. He noted that advanced democracies can reasonably restrict certain freedoms when their national security is threatened, and stressed that governments will not compromise on this. News highlights Samsung Electronics CEO Han Zhonghee, 63, died suddenly, and the cause of death was cardiac arrest. A Samsung spokesperson confirmed the news and said that Han Zhonghee only attended the shareholders' meeting last week and promised to push forward with the semiconductor merger and acquisition to revive growth. On March 22, he had a heart attack after attending his daughter's wedding and was sent to the hospital for rescue. News highlights the housing rate of Hualien County during the Qingming Festival holiday is only 3%, a decrease of 4% compared with previous years, which is believed by the industry to be related to the decline of the international travel boom and the high traffic uncertainty in Hualien. The chairman of the Hualien Tourism Association pointed out that in previous years, there were many people returning to their hometowns, and the housing rate was 6 to 7%. This year's craze for people to go abroad and the change in the type of travel booking in the background of the new crown have had a great impact. The booking rate of Taichung Lishan Hotel and Gugwan Scenic Area also dropped significantly, reflecting the decline of the overall tourism boom. The Ministry of Communications reminds that there will be traffic congestion during the Qingming evacuation period, and the use of public transportation is encouraged. News highlights Liu's Lu spouse was asked by the Immigration Bureau to leave the country because of his alleged remarks on military reunification, and the deadline for his departure on the 25th was 25 days. She stressed that she did not plan to leave, calling it an unjust case. Executive Premier Chok Wing-tai said the government would handle the matter in accordance with the law, stressing that any illegal acts would be dealt with the most severe means, but the process would remain gentle. He pointed out that freedom of expression has boundaries and should be reasonably limited if it threatens national security, stressing that there is no room for compromise on this matter. News highlights competition for primary and secondary school enrollment is fierce, popular schools face total volume controls, and even school purchases within the school district do not guarantee enrollment. The increase in class size from 30 to 33 in 5 schools in Hsinchu City due to high demand has sparked a backlash from teachers, students, and counselors, which the city government called a transitional measure. Parents in Taichung and Hsinchu City have set up registration for their children to obtain places, but many parents are facing the dilemma of not being able to enroll in school due to late registration or registration problems. There are also students in Zhonghua City who have lost their priority due to changes in household registration, and dissatisfaction among parents and students has risen. News highlights Tao Jingying and Chu Shenji attended a public welfare event to call attention to children's issues. As a mother, Tao Jingying emphasizes educating children to have the courage to express uncomfortable feelings. Recently, some netizens recalled that Lan Zhenmei revealed on the show that Zheng Qiuchen tried to kiss Tao Jingying after drinking. Tao Jingying confirmed the incident, but said that she did not want to go into details, and mentioned that the issue of Me Too was not yet widespread and was not taken seriously at the time. She stressed the need for women to speak out and noted that more victims may come forward in the future. News highlights 32-year-old former men's basketball player Shi Yanzong, nicknamed Dafei, who was the top pick in the SBL draft, was later disqualified by the Chinese Basketball Association for being involved in match fixing. After losing his status as a player, he switched careers to work at a snack bar in Wanhua District, Taipei City, and showed a positive work attitude and worked hard to start a new life. Despite the setbacks in his career, Shi Yanzong shared photos with his family on social media and expressed his gratitude to his wife and son, showing the tremendous support and strength of his family. News highlights the vegetable named ice flower has recently been hotly discussed on social platforms, attracting a lot of attention and being out of stock in some supermarkets. Ice flowers are native to Penghu, and in the past, they were used as high-end ingredients, and the price was higher. As netizens shared its crispy texture and unique flavor, it tasted better with various sauces, and quickly entered the mass market. Although some people think that the taste is ordinary, it has become the focus of the fresh market recently because of its special taste. News highlights recently, a netizen posted on the community, asking whether the residents on the first floor need to pay elevator maintenance fees, stairwell cleaning fees and parking lot maintenance management fees, because he does not use these facilities and has purchased parking spaces. Netizens reacted to two polls. Some people thought that the public welfare fee should be shared equally, regardless of whether it was used or not, and some suggested that he could ask the management committee to return the right to use. The discussion revolved around whether payments should be made on the basis of the right of use or on an equal share in accordance with the statute. News highlights: the Trump administration in the United States has proposed a port fee of up to $1.5 million on Chinese-made ships as a countermeasure to China's dominance in the global shipbuilding and shipping industry. This policy is aimed at reinvigorating the U.S. shipbuilding industry and reducing dependence on China. China's shipbuilding industry, which has risen since the beginning of the 21st century, now accounts for more than 50% of the global market and relies heavily on government subsidies. The U.S. move is not only an economic countermeasure, but also involves political competition, which could push up global transportation costs and affect the trade landscape. News highlights: the district office of the Hualien County government was investigated and searched this morning, 25th, and the director of civil affairs, Ming Liangzhen, and others were brought back for an interview, suspected of being involved in the water meter check dispute. The incident stemmed from the controversy caused by the Hualien City Household Affairs Office in February after the people jointly signed the recall proposal. The Hualien District Prosecutor's Office instructed the Investigation Bureau to search the District Affairs Department and bring back 11 suspects and witnesses. Ming Liangzhen is suspected of violating the election and recall law and the personal data protection law. News highlights: Chinese internet celebrity Yai Lu Jinya is facing being asked to leave the country because of his remarks related to military reunification. Today, 25th, is the deadline for her to leave the country on her own, but Lu stressed that she does not plan to leave Taiwan. The executive premier, Chuk Wing-tai, stressed that the national dignity of the country is the priority, and any illegal acts must be dealt with strictly, but the process must be handled in a gentle manner. Chuk pointed out that the government will handle the matter in accordance with the regulations on relations between people on both sides of the Taiwan Strait, stressing that there are boundaries to freedom of expression, especially when national security is threatened, and that democracies can reasonably restrict certain freedoms to protect the public interest. News highlights: the People's Party's official YouTube channel, People's Voice, has sparked an investigation over the Dao Nai controversy. The investigation found that about $3.5 million of the channel's revenue flowed into the account of Mook Public Relations Company, and did not enter the special account of the political party. Su Fu had argued that the proceeds were legitimate, but the treasurer, Liang Xiachu, expressed misgivings and refused to provide party accounts. The lawyer pointed out that the proceeds should be regarded as political donations, and if they are not included in the special account of the political party, they may involve the crime of embezzlement of public interest. News highlights: the weather in Taiwan today and tomorrow, 25th and 26th, will be sunny to cloudy, with only scattered brief showers in the southeast and Hengchun Peninsula. There was a brief period of rain in the mountainous areas of central and southern China in the afternoon of the 27th. On the 28th, under the influence of the front and the northeast monsoon, there was rain throughout Taiwan, the temperature dropped, and the north and northeast turned cold. From the 29th to the 31st, under the influence of the northeast monsoon or the continental cold air mass, it was cold in the north and east, with brief rain in the northern and southern mountainous areas, and cloudy in other areas. News highlights: President Lai Ching-te convened a national security meeting on March 13, calling China a hostile foreign force and proposing 17 strategies, including restoring the military trial system, which drew criticism from Blue and White that it was moving towards martial law. Ming Zhehan, an honorary professor at National Taiwan University, retorted that Taiwan's formulation of punitive measures was in response to the mainland's infiltration, accusing those who are pro-China to eat inside and out. He stressed that the freedom of the Republic of China was not easy to come by, and the enemy should not be allowed to use freedom of speech to undermine democracy. News highlights: Yaya, an internet celebrity, had her residence permit revoked because of her support for military reunification, and she had to leave the country on the evening of the 25th, but she threatened not to leave voluntarily and held a press conference with the militia to protest. Interior Minister Liu Shifang said that Asian, and African ordinary mothers, but through legal warfare, public opinion warfare, psychological warfare, and other 3 wars against Taiwan. She mentioned that Taiwan administers according to law and will be forcibly expelled if it does not leave the country within the time limit, stressing that the Asia incident is part of China's cognitive warfare, and the government will handle it in accordance with regulations. News highlights: Fu Kunking, the general director of the Kuomintang Caucus, was involved in the election of the Small Object Cosmetic Group, and on the 14th, the investigation searched the staff dormitory next to his Hualien residence and brought back a housekeeper. Today, 25th, Mirror Weekly broke the news that the Hualien District Prosecutor's Office commanded the county dispatch station to search for the Hualien County government, and the reason was not disclosed. Fu Kunking suspected of providing the Blue Committee contouring team, and the prosecutor believed that the transaction was suspicious, and he was afraid of being involved in fake invoices and the commercial accounting law. When the earthquake struck Hualien on the same day, Su Jinwei, the county magistrate, advocated disaster prevention in the community and did not respond to the search for the county government, while Fu Kunqian kept a low profile and did not make any statement. News highlights the controversy of fake Yuxiao blonde Yuki has become more and more intense, and the original focus was on the drowning of a boy in Baitun, Taichung, but Yuki caused an uproar because he claimed to be righteous and involved in the rescue process. Afterwards, she claimed to be Japanese and pregnant when she was interviewed, but she was immediately kicked and sentenced for signing her sister's name, and now she was revealed by the internet celebrity Deep Hidden Blue, saying that she had video with him when she was playing GDARP, and at that time she spoke fluently in Chinese and had a deep voice like a man, which made people question her true identity and motives. News highlights Yaya, a Chinese internet celebrity, was revoked in Taiwan for advocating military reunification, and must leave the country before 2359 on the 25th, otherwise she will be forcibly expelled. Yaya strongly expressed her reluctance to leave Taiwan, and went to the Ministry of the Interior to protest with the International Family Mutual Aid Association, and her Taiwanese husband appeared for the first time to speak out, emphasizing that he is a Taiwanese boy, questioning whether the government should expel him together, and calling for fairness and justice. Yaya's husband criticized the authorities for forcibly expelling the evictions by means of personality destruction, and asked for a stay of execution, hoping that the family would not be separated and waiting for final justice. News highlights a strong sandstorm from Inner Mongolia and North China affected Japan and South Korea on the 25th, reducing visibility to 5 kilometers and causing respiratory problems. The Japan Meteorological Agency reminds the public to wear masks, avoid going out, and pay attention to driving safety. Zhang Mingdian, former director of the Central Meteorological Bureau, pointed out that Taiwan is mainly affected by haze, and the air quality in the western half is likely to deteriorate. Experts recommend suspending drying clothes and washing cars to avoid sand and dust adhesion. News highlights Korean star Kim So-hyun was involved in a dispute with the late actress Kim Se-ron underage relationship, and it is still rumored that he will come to Taiwan to attend the Kaohsiung cherry blossom season on the 30th. Kaohsiung Mayor Chen Kumai said on the 25th that this incident is extremely controversial in South Korea, which may affect the event, and called on the organizers to consider it carefully. At present, the Aviation Police Bureau has not received a coordination letter from the municipal government, and the municipal government has expressed its position to the organizers and will pay attention to the follow-up development. News highlights Chinese spouse Yaya, Lu Jinya, was revoked by the Immigration Department for repeatedly advocating military reunification of Taiwan on Douyin and other platforms, and was ordered to leave the country before today, 25th. Even though she applied to the court to stop the execution, it was still denied. However, Yaya still insisted that she would not leave on her own initiative, and held a press conference this morning, denying that she supported military reunification and accusing the Immigration Department of bullying, but then she blew up. I am talking about military reunification, which once again sparked controversy. Interior Minister Liu Shifang said that Yaya is not just an ordinary mother, her behavior involves the law, public opinion, and psychology, and stressed that Taiwan has the rule of law and will enforce forced exit in accordance with the law. News highlights sharp diva Li Jing did not get better due to a cold for more than 2 weeks, and after her vocal cords became inflamed, she took steroids, and as a result, she lost 5 kilograms overnight, her face was swollen and unrecognizable, and she also felt drowsy during the recording. She apologized on Facebook to her partner Shen Yulin, staff, and viewers, and felt deeply guilty. Fans left messages to support her rest and wish her a speedy recovery, emphasizing that health is the most important thing. News highlights Huang Qiru and Xiao Zhenan finally announced the birth of the baby. 43-year-old Huang Qiru gave birth to a baby boy a few days ago, and revealed the gender on social networks. Xiao Zhenan can be seen in the film accompanying his wife into the delivery room. Huang Qiru cried due to nervousness, and later she and her husband took the baby home, full of happiness. Previously, the two had asked fans to speculate about the baby's gender and remained mysterious until yesterday's public news. News highlights Zhang Lan was blocked by Douyin and Weibo because of the death of Zhang Yangda, and she was strongly dissatisfied at the time, but now she has changed her words and said that the seal is very good, and laughed that this is a kind of protection for her. She lamented and exhorted the public not to interfere in the cause and effect of others, and talked about her own experience of struggle in the past. Zhang Lan also clarified that she had been exposed to false revenue when she was operating South Beauty, and refuted the media's misleading, emphasizing that her company's operation was transparent, and demanded that the media apologize. News highlights Shi Yanzong, a 32-year-old former men's basketball player, was expelled from the basketball scene for being involved in the SBL match-fixing case and was disqualified as a player by the Basketball Association of the Republic of China. Now he works hard as a clerk in a snack bar in Wanhua, Taipei, showing a positive attitude towards life. Despite the low tide, Shi Yanzong's wife never gave up, and expressed support on social platforms, and the two worked together to overcome the difficulties. News highlights actress Jiang Jiang, Lin Jiaoling, recently revealed on the YouTube channel the first reunion of her biological father and mother after 20 years, and captured the embarrassing interaction. At that time, my father gave my sister a new home and helped with the move, and then my mother also came to visit. Unexpectedly, Dad shows up and meets Mom briefly, and the interaction seems awkward. Qiang Qiang's parents have cheated on each other in their respective marriages, and have divorced and remarried many times, and this real interaction is all captured by the camera, making the audience feel the complex family relationship. News highlights artist D.S. Su Ziwan, unfortunately passed away due to influenza complicated by pneumonia during the Lunar New Year this year, which made many people deeply saddened. Recently, there was another shocking news that the keyboard teacher of the Entertainment 100% program also passed away, which made fans feel sad. Xiao Long confirmed the news on IG and shared a photo with the keyboard teacher, sentimentally saying that the teacher is no longer lonely and may he rest in peace. Netizens said I went to help Big S accompaniment and recalled the happy times brought by the show that year. News highlights 46-year-old actor Xiaoping, Yu Zhengxian, has recently turned on the red light of health, and has bacteremia caused by bacterial infection, and because he signed a waiver of first aid, he looked down on life and death. He recently noticed a horrific bruise on his back, and doctors initially diagnosed it as a bruise, but as he could not remember if he had been hit recently, further blood tests were done and the results were awaited. Xiaoping admitted that he was in poor health, and called on fans to pray for him, and has signed an organ donation certificate, hoping to help more people. News highlights Kim Se-ron's ex-boyfriend Kay came forward to deny that Kim So-hyun had anything to do with her death, and exposed her violent relationship with her New York husband and her family's indifference. Kay revealed that Kim Se-ron committed suicide many times after suffering severe physical and mental injuries, and her family was indifferent to her pain, but friends have always accompanied her. Kay signed a letter of proof and provided audio files and evidence to prove that Kim Se-ron was isolated and neglected during his lifetime. News highlights Chinese spouse Lu Jinya, Yaya, was revoked by Taiwan's Ministry of the Interior for filming a video to promote military reunification and was allowed to leave the country within a time limit. Yaya declared that she would not leave, causing controversy. Premier Zhou Rongta stressed that freedom of speech has boundaries and cannot be derogated against the country, and said that the government will handle the matter in accordance with the regulations on cross-strait people-to-people relations, stressing that national security and sovereignty cannot be compromised, and demanding that the handling process be gentle but firm. News highlights YouTuber crowdweight teacher Andy and Jianing officially announced their breakup in October 2024, and teacher Andy tore apart on his personal channel on the 11th of this month, March, angrily accusing Jianing's family of a series of actions that made him lose the right to operate the channel, and took away his 10 years of hard work, which attracted attention from the outside world. It is understood that Jianing's mother recently filed a lawsuit against Mr. Andy for the personal information law and obstruction of reputation, etc., and after Mr. Andy received the notice, he decided to go to the Lingkou police station this afternoon, 25th, to explain and make a record. News highlights April 2nd will be a day of global attention, and Taiwan's stock market faces two major risks and opportunities. First of all, Nintendo's Switch 2 will be broadcast live, attracting a large number of consumer attention and may drive related Taiwan manufacturers. Second, Trump will announce reciprocal tariffs, which could have far-reaching implications for Taiwan and the global economy, and if the United States and other countries retaliate, it will exacerbate global economic instability. Taiwan stocks may maintain a consolidation pattern this week, and investors should be conservative and focus on Nintendo concept stocks such as Hongzhen and Macronix. News highlights Liu Pei internet celebrity Yaya, Lu Jinya, was revoked by the Immigration Department for advocating military reunification remarks, and was allowed to leave the country today, 25th. Yaya was reluctant to leave, and today she held a press conference with her family and non-governmental organizations at the Ministry of the Interior, stressing that she has never advocated military reunification and advocates peaceful reunification. She said that she would feel helpless if she was forcibly evicted, but hoped to leave Taiwan innocently. Yaya's channel, which promotes the idea of a strong motherland, was interviewed by the Immigration Department in early March and received a departure notice on March 16. Evictions can be enforced from tomorrow, 26th. News highlights on August 27, 2021, a kindergarten teacher surnamed Lin in Shuolin Township, Yunlin, raised her 3 sons alone after her husband's death, but on this day, she suffered a car accident and lost 2 sons, although the 9-year-old son survived, but his right hand needed to be amputated. The incident attracted social attention, and the Yunlin County government and kind-hearted people provided assistance and raised more than 10 million donations. However, the perpetrator, Huang Nan, did not take responsibility and appealed the court verdict and has not yet served his sentence. In the face of the unfair and delayed legal process, the kindergarten teacher surnamed Lin was heartbroken and helpless, and only hoped that he could give an explanation to his deceased son. News highlights the last day of the week's shareholders meeting is good for Nanfang, 1440, Zhenglong, 1904, Lianjia, 6288, and International China Rubber, 2104, and other companies, to have the identity of shareholders to receive shareholders meeting souvenirs, such as the purchase of fractional shares also need to complete the electronic voting, and at the specified time to receive. News highlights Taiwan Precision Materials, 3467, was listed on the OTC on the 25th, and was quoted at 69 yuan at the opening, an increase of 97.14%, showing a strong market response. If the successful investor sells at the opening, he can easily earn 34,000 yuan. Founded in 1997, Taiwan Precision Materials focuses on providing high-purity consumable components and serving major semiconductor manufacturers around the world. Last year's revenue reached 617 million yuan, and benefiting from the demand for AI and high-performance computing, we will actively develop new ceramic materials and innovative processes in the future to continue to expand market opportunities. News highlights the People's Party's official YouTube channel, People's Voice, has sparked an investigation over the Dao controversy. The investigation found that about $3.5 million of the channel's revenue flowed into the account of MOOC Public Relations Company, and did not enter the special account of the political party. Su Fu had argued that the proceeds were legitimate, but the treasurer, Liang Xiachu, expressed misgivings and refused to provide party accounts. The lawyer pointed out that the proceeds should be regarded as political donations, and if they are not included in the special account of the political party, they may involve the crime of embezzlement of public interest. News highlights South Korean actor Kim So-hyun has recently been involved in a relationship turmoil and attracted attention from the outside world. Although he is still the finale of the Kaohsiung Cherry Blossom Festival event and plans to come to Taiwan on the 30th, it is reported that the Kaohsiung City government and the Aviation Police Bureau have not yet held a coordination meeting, making it unknown whether Kim So-hyun will come to Taiwan as scheduled. Kim So-hyun will arrive in Kaohsiung on the afternoon of the 30th on China Airlines Flight CI-165 and is expected to return to South Korea on April 1. News highlights a recent video has sparked heated discussions on the internet, showing a woman buried in the driver's lap on the highway to serve, filmed by a suspected driver of a large truck, and recorded this scene and uploaded it to the internet. The video attracted heated discussions among netizens, but there were also criticisms that the filmmaker was distracted and had dangerous driving behaviors. Under the penal code, if a video is deemed obscene, the disseminator may face up to 2 years in prison and a fine. News highlights off the South Island of New Zealand, at around 9:43 am. Taiwan time today, a magnitude 7.0 earthquake struck. According to the U.S. Geological Survey, the epicenter was located 159 kilometers southwest of Riverton, with an epicenter depth of 10 kilometers. In response to the earthquake, the Australian Bureau of Meteorology and the U.S. Tsunami Warning System did not issue a tsunami warning. News highlights the woman surnamed Liu in Taiwan was ruled by the Immigration Department to revoke her residence permit because of her remarks related to military reunification, and was asked to leave Taiwan today, 25th. Yai's Taiwanese husband spoke out in support of his wife in the Ministry of Internal Affairs, stressing that the decision was unfair and criticizing the government's personality destruction in order to expel them as soon as possible. He expressed his willingness to wait for the justice and justice of the law and called on the Ministry of the Interior to suspend the expulsion of his wife and avoid the breakdown of the family. News highlights the recent wave of recalls has swept across the country, and 35 Blue Committee members have passed the first-order recall proposal, but the Green Committee has not made any progress. Ling Tao, a member of the Darwin City Council of the Kuomintang, pointed out that after checking by civic groups, 8 Green Committee members have reached the threshold of the first stage of recall, but the results of the election have not been announced. In response, the CEC said that the proposal for the recall and the joint list of signatures must be checked in accordance with the law, not by the citizens' organizations themselves, and stressed that according to the law, only statutory organs can check the household administration information, and are not citizens' organizations or recall groups. News highlights Liu Pei internet celebrity Yai was revoked of her residence permit for advocating military reunification, and she must leave the country late at night on the 25th at the latest, otherwise she will be forced to leave the country. Zhou Rongta, responsible person of the administrative organ, stressed that the Ministry of the Interior will handle this matter in accordance with the regulations on relations between the people on both sides of the strait, and demanded that it maintain a firm stance on the basis of gentle handling and protect Taiwan's sovereignty and national character. He pointed out that freedom of speech has boundaries and that individual freedoms cannot be upheld in the context of endangering national security, and stressed that the government will deal with it in the most severe way and there is no room for compromise. News highlights Kay Wenz, the former chairman of the People's Party, broke the news a few days ago, saying that the prosecutor threatened him with indecent videos on his personal hard drive, and if he did not cooperate, he would be sent to the court. Kay Wenz's wife, Peggy Chen, said that the inquest should be done for hospital inspections or patient interrogations, not CDs. She recalled Kay Wenz's minimalist life after marriage, in which she managed her family's finances, and shared an episode about delivering food to the Beijing Institute, emphasizing that there was no prohibition on sending sweets to the Beijing Institute, and questioned the inspection of CDs. News highlights: a woman recently found that many students occupied seats in Louisa's coffee shop, many of whom did not consume, and the phenomenon of bags occupying places caused her to be dissatisfied and posted the matter online, causing heated discussions. Many netizens shared countermeasures, such as sitting directly in the seat with the item. Usually the owner of the item will move away on its own, and some suggested asking directly, "Is anyone using it here?" Most will give way. It was felt that such place occupancy had become a bad habit and that more than one seat should not be occupied. News highlights: Zheng Qiuchen was involved in humiliating the guests and publicly supporting Huang Zijiao's comeback in the entertainment industry because of his inappropriate remarks, which aroused the dissatisfaction of public television and China television. Public television decided to remove him from hosting 1,000 Words, and considered a number of replacement candidates, including Tai Ziwen, Xie Jinwu, etc. Zheng Qiuchen's gaffe affected the program he had hosted for a long time, and even affected the location announcement of 60th Youth Fun Travel of Eastern Senchaishi. Although China television has not yet changed the host of Genius Chongchong, this incident has aroused strong attention, and the reactions of netizens and the media are still fermenting. News highlights: Liu Peia and Lu Jinya faced punishment from the Immigration Department for making remarks in support of military reunification, and were asked to leave the country on the 25th. On the same day, she and the Taiwan Family Mutual Aid Association held a press conference at the entrance of the Ministry of Internal Affairs to express their protest and demand that the administrative punishment be revoked to avoid harm to her family. However, anti-communist internet celebrity Bajian also arrived at the scene and tried to storm the scene of the press conference, but was finally stopped by the police. The incident raised questions about the USCIS's actions and sparked heated discussions on the internet. News highlights: Kim Se-ron's family accused Kim So-hyun of having a relationship with Kim So-hyun as a minor, saying she had been in a relationship with Kim So-hyun when she was a minor. However, Kim Se-ron's ex-boyfriend, Mr. K, retorted, emphasizing that the cause of Kim Se-ron's death had nothing to do with Kim So-hyun, and revealed that she was abused by her new husband after marriage, estranged from her family, and repeatedly asked friends for help. He criticized Kim Se-ron's family for not caring about her and accused them of taking the opportunity to hype up Kim So-hyun's reputation. News highlights: on the 25th, the Hualien District Prosecutor's Office commanded the Investigation Bureau to search the Hualien Household Affairs Office, the District Affairs Office, and other 4 places, and took away 11 people for questioning. The focus of the investigation was on the illegal inspection of water meters and the outflow of people's personal information, and to investigate whether the household administration personnel were instructed by the county government to carry out illegal acts. Fu Kunking's office responded that if the county government is involved, it will make an explanation. This incident is related to the previous search of Fu Kunking's official residence, and the investigation has launched 3 waves of searches. News highlights: Liu's surname Liu Peia was given a deadline by the Immigration Department for making remarks involving military reunification on Douyin, and today, 25th, is the deadline for leaving the country on his own. In order to fight for her right to stay in Taiwan, Yaya and the Taiwan International Family Mutual Aid Association went to the Ministry of the Interior to hold a press conference. During the meeting, Yaya's husband expressed his demands in full Taiwanese, emphasizing that he was a Taiwanese born in Taiwan, and said, "Do you want to let me go too? I have the right to live here," calling on the Ministry of Home Affairs to suspend Yaya's expulsion to avoid family breakup, and blamed the devastating impact of such a punishment on their families. News highlights: the anti-abolition and anti-martial law referendums proposed by the Kuomintang continued to be handled at the Legislative Yuan meeting on the 25th, but the meeting was interrupted several times because DPP legislators protested against the live broadcast of new party Deputy Secretary General Yu Hiban on the second floor of the meeting hall. The Green Committee accused the hospital of escorting Yu Hiban and flocked to the rostrum to protest. Han Kuo-yu expressed his displeasure, called on the Green Committee not to yell into his ears, and announced that the meeting would be rested again. This incident reflects the fierce confrontation and controversy within the Legislative Yuan. News highlights: at the beginning of 2025, the technology industry is facing a wave of layoffs, and many major semiconductor companies have announced large-scale layoffs. ON Semiconductor plans to lay off 2,400 jobs, ST Microelectronics plans to lay off 3,000 jobs, and Microchip Technologies will lay off about 2,000 jobs and close its Arizona fab. NXP in the Netherlands also plans to cut 1,800 jobs. These layoffs, which stem from market pressures and declining company performance, are expected to affect thousands of employees, indicating that employment in the technology industry has become more difficult. News highlights: Chinese anchor Lu Jinya, Yaya, was involved in advocating military reunification with Taiwan, and his residence permit was revoked by the Taiwan Immigration Bureau and he left the country within a time limit, and his health insurance and right to work were also cancelled. Yaya expressed her reluctance to leave and shouted at the Taiwanese government, criticizing her for being pushed into the abyss, causing Chinese netizens to question her patriotic stance. An internet celebrity Xiaolaga criticized Yaya in the film, questioning whether her patriotic remarks were just to earn traffic, and said that if she is really patriotic, she should be welcome to return to her motherland. Yaya stressed that she had made no mistakes and decided not to leave Taiwan. News highlights: after Kim Se-yeon's death, her family broke the news that she had dated Kim So-hyun when she was a minor and blamed Kim So-hyun for her death. Her ex-boyfriend, Mr. K, spoke out for the first time, emphasizing that Kim Se-yeon's death had nothing to do with Kim So-hyun, and revealed that she was under great pressure due to family and marital problems during her lifetime, and was monitored, abused, and even violently assaulted by her husband, resulting in a mental breakdown. Mr. K provided evidence that Kim Se-yeon was neglected by his family and questioned that the family was now using her death to divert attention and defend Kim So-hyun. News highlights: Zhang Qiuchen lost the host of 8,000 Words for 12 years due to the gaffe incident, and public television decided to remove the host and consider new options, such as Tai Ziwen, Xie Jinwu, Zhang Beiyi, etc. Last year, Zhang Qiuchen was accused of verbal bullying for humiliating the figure of guest Luo Zion on the show, and caused dissatisfaction among the top management of public television. Even after apologizing, Zhang Qiuchen supported Huang Zijiao's comeback in an interview, which caused controversy, resulting in another replacement. The show will be rerun, possibly re-recorded as early as May or July. News highlights: Wang Hedi became popular because of the popular drama Kanglinju, and recently sued a number of black fans who spread rumors and slander on the internet in order to protect the rights and interests of artists. On the 24th, the studio announced the latest progress of the lawsuit and found that it included Yu Shuxin's fan account, which attracted the attention of many netizens. After Wang Hedi and Yu Shuxin collaborated on Kanglinju, although their careers were at their peak, there were many conflicts between fans. The incident of Wang Hedi's lawsuit has once again sparked online discussions, and there are many voices supporting him to defend his rights. News highlights: Kim Jae-young recently shared a happy news on Instagram story, revealing that he is about to become a grandfather, and his niece's family has ushered in a new life. Kim Jae-young said, "In 10 months, I will be a grandfather, the first grandfather in the idol industry." However, this news sparked discussions among netizens. Some pointed out that mythical member Lee Min-yu had actually been a grandfather, so Kim Jae-young was not the first grandfather in the idol industry, and some netizens joked, "When will a real grandfather appear in the idol world?" News highlights: Jia Yongcha, chairman of Taipei 101, has a deep personal relationship with Big S, and was recently accused of consuming the death of Da S, and then clarified and emphasized that he should be rational, kind, and empathetic. Jia Yongcha cheered for SS mother on the social platform, saying, "Mother Su, we love you, take care." SS mother responded that she would get through with everyone's support. Netizens also left messages to encourage SS mother and wish her to be strong through difficult times. News highlights: Taipei Mayor Chang Wanan announced at the city council that the ring would be demolished and converted into an interchange to improve traffic accidents. Since 107 years, Mansion Circle has been a hotspot in Taipei City for 7 consecutive years, and is designed to be prone to traffic accidents and pose a high risk to pedestrians. Although it was originally planned to keep the bus tunnel, due to facility problems, it will be changed to a level road. Mr. Chang stressed that this was an arduous undertaking and that the impact of the construction on the public would be minimized. News highlights: there is a serious shortage of grassroots criminal posts in Tainan City, and repeated recruitment examinations still cannot be filled. Due to the large number of fraud cases, the investigator is under pressure and chooses to leave the criminal world, and even the investigation team leader has retired and been transferred. This year, the Tainan City Police Department changed to the method of in-situ dispatch, hoping to improve the reporting rate and reduce the pressure on cadres. Despite the lack of recruitment, the Tainan City Criminal University continues to encourage up-and-comers to join the criminal ranks and seek to address the shortage of staff. News highlights: PLG Fubon Warriors announced today that they have reached a contract extension agreement with Beast Lin's Hija, confirming that they will play again in the 2025-26 season. Lin's Hija, who has 5 championship rings, has been motivating the team with a tenacious attitude throughout his career, and joined the Warriors in 2019 to help the team complete 3 consecutive championships. Although it was said that he could retire after this season, after discussions, the two parties decided to renew the contract early. The team's general manager, Ye Zongying, expressed her gratitude to Lin's Hija for his contribution and looked forward to him continuing to lead the team. News highlights: the Taipei Municipal Zoo announced 2 unfortunate news today, 24th. Xiao Qiao, a 24-year-old brown bear, recently underwent surgery for breast tumor metastasis, and his condition was found to have deteriorated during the operation, and it has metastasized to the lungs. The medical team successfully removed the ruptured lump, but will continue to monitor its recovery. Another elderly animal, cassowary Dongxi, was assessed for humane treatment due to deterioration and aging problems, and an autopsy was conducted and pancreatic lesions were found. News highlights: it is reported that Jianning's mother has previously filed a lawsuit against Andy in accordance with the Personal Information Law and obstruction of reputation, and Andy has also received a notice a few days ago. According to the latest information, Andy plans to go to the police station this afternoon to appear in the case. News highlights: Korean star Kim So-hyun was originally scheduled to come to Taiwan on the 30th to participate in the Kaohsiung Sakura Festival performance due to the controversy caused by the suspected underage relationship with his late ex-girlfriend Kim Se-ron. In this regard, Kaohsiung Mayor Chen Kamai stressed at the municipal meeting on the 25th that the organizers should carefully consider the impact of this event. Although the organizers said that the performance will continue as usual, the city government has not yet coordinated with the aviation police on relevant matters, and Chen Kamai called on the organizers to be cautious. News highlights: Samsung Electronics CEO Han Zhonghee passed away at the age of 63. Han Zhonghee leads Samsung Electronics and Mobile Devices Division and is known as an expert in the TV industry, successfully building Samsung into the world's leading TV brand. Under his leadership, Samsung has ranked first in the global TV market share for 19 consecutive years. Recently, he has been actively promoting the integration of AI technology into Samsung products. Han Zhonghee suffered a heart attack on Saturday and died after being treated in the hospital, prompting a brief drop in Samsung Electronics shares. News highlights: the results of this year's January-February GUI Awards have been announced. The prize number of the 10 million special prize is 959808685, the prize number of the special prize is 371666026, and the three groups of the first prize are 78394633, 26503878, and 39200954. In addition, there are also second to sixth prizes and exclusive prizes for cloud invoices. A total of 30 groups of 1 million yuan awards, 16,000 yuan of 2,000 yuan awards, 100,000 yuan of 800 yuan awards and 2.45 million 500 yuan awards were awarded. Winners are required to collect their prizes at the designated redemption offices between April 6 and July 7. News highlights: Face Yang, who has not appeared for a long time, returned to the big screen for starring in Feng Shen Part 2, and shared his cooperation experience with director Wu Ershan. He revealed that in order to truly present the weak role of Yin Xiao in the film, he was extremely involved in the filming process, conducted many rehearsals, and strived for every detail. The 64-year-old Face Yang, in order to interpret the role of the king, insisted on fitness to maintain his physique, and took extreme ways to control his posture to make himself look like a skeleton. In addition, he personally dubbed and translated the subtitles for the film. The movie is currently in theaters. News highlights: Chris Stark, a 38-year-old British host, suddenly went public with testicular cancer 2 months after disappearing from the screen. He shared that he had undergone surgery and chemotherapy, and stressed that he detected cancer as early as possible, hoping that this would encourage more men to get health check UPS. "I feel like an idiot who didn't go to the doctor sooner," he said, encouraging people not to be shy about talking about such health problems, as early detection can help save lives. News highlights: the Hualien County government has recently been subject to a large-scale investigation by the Hualien District Prosecutor's Office for suspected violations of the election and recall law. In February, when the first phase of Fu Kunking's recall was signed in Hualien, it was reported that some people reported that they were suspected of being checked by government personnel, which attracted attention from the outside world. The Hualien District Prosecutor's Office today, 25th, searched 4 places, including the Hualien County Government District Office and the Household Administration Office, and took away 11 people for questioning, including the Director of Civil Affairs, Ming Liangzhen, and relevant personnel of the Household Affairs Office. News highlights: the controversy over the Sheikh Nekin on the People's Party's YouTube channel People's Voice has once again attracted attention. The report pointed out that the amount of money in the company was about 3.5 million yuan. Su Fu clarified that the amount could not be claimed, and said that the card was on a third-party platform. The Beijing Procuratorate has investigated the case separately into whether it violated the regulations on embezzlement and political donations. Wang Quoxiong criticized it as hot and fried and called for the focus to be on other issues. News highlights: South Korean actor Kim So-hyun was originally scheduled to come to Taiwan on the 30th to participate in the Kaohsiung cherry blossom season, but due to the recent scandal, it caused controversy. Kaohsiung Mayor Chen Kamai said that he had expressed his hope with the organizers that he would carefully consider Kim So-hyun's participation. Although the organizers stressed that the event will continue as usual, it is still uncertain whether Kim So-hyun will come to Taiwan as scheduled, and there are only 4 working days left before the event, and the coordination meeting between the city government and the Aviation Police Bureau has not yet been completed, which has made the outside world doubt his itinerary. News highlights: Lai King-mei, a member of the Zhonghua County Council of the Democratic Progressive Party, tried to borrow the parking space of the Wanggong police station because she couldn't find a parking space, but was choked by the police on duty, and a quarrel broke out between the two sides. Afterwards, Lai King-mei was bombarded by netizens and received harassing phone calls, saying that she would file a complaint. On the 25th, she posted that she had brought tea to the police station to pay her respects, and explained her doubts and resolved the misunderstanding with the police officers in person. However, the move has once again sparked discussion among netizens, with some arguing that Lai should apologize rather than just paying tribute, and questioning the way to deal with it. News highlights. The Wall Street Journal analysis pointed out that the mainland is ready for a blockade of Taiwan, and may use military and non-military means, such as airstrikes on infrastructure, port blockades, and even economic and cyber warfare, to weaken Taiwan's defenses. Experts believe that in the short term, the mainland may test the international response with isolation tactics and establish a new normal in the region. The US response will be key, and if the US intervenes, it could trigger a global trade shock. Academic circles generally believe that the mainland does not yet possess amphibious landing capabilities and blockade or isolation is more feasible. News highlights. The real estate market is facing a money shortage. According to the actual price registration data, the sales of pre-sold houses in the past 3 years are about 5.4 trillion yuan, and if calculated based on 80% of the loans, it is estimated that the annual housing loan demand will reach 1 trillion yuan. Xinyi Housing pointed out that the central bank's financial inspection measures will focus on real estate lending, indicating that the market demand for funds is still tight and may continue until the end of the year. Banks are limited in housing loans, some construction projects need to be solved by multiple banks, and the existing loan recovery process is fast, and the shortage of funds in the market is difficult to improve in the short term, so buyers need to be cautious about handling loan problems. News highlights. A nearly 50-year-old building in Qingshui District, Taichung City, suddenly collapsed in the early morning of the 22nd, and the roof of the building was V-shaped. The latest news points out that the demolition of the collapsed structure will be completed on the evening of the 25th. According to the Taichung City Development Bureau, the owners of the 10 households on the 5th and 6th floors of the building will be fined between 600,000 and 300,000 yuan in accordance with the provisions of the building law. According to the regulations, building owners are required to maintain the structural safety of the building and face fines for non-compliance. News highlights. Hair dyes may be associated with a carcinogenic risk, especially for quick-dyeing, dark-colored, and long-lasting products. The International Agency for Research on Cancer, IARC, classifies some hair dye ingredients as Class 3 carcinogens. When choosing a hair dyes, you should pay attention to the ingredients, avoid products containing p-phenylenediamine, PPD, and choose a brand with full labeling and licenses. To reduce the risk, reduce the frequency of hair coloring, maintain good lifestyle habits, use hair dye correctly, avoid contact with the scalp and perform skin tests. News highlights. After Meng Zhengru participated in The Distance Between Us and Evil 2, the controversy caused by the Huang Zijiao incident caused the public to demand that her role be deleted. The crew issued a statement saying that the complete deletion or reshoot would have a significant impact on the crew, and now she can only cut her scenes without affecting the integrity of the plot. The crew admitted that Meng Zhengru's response failed to meet social expectations, and deeply reflected on the incident and apologized for the incident. He stressed that it will be handled more cautiously in the future, and called for continued discussion on the issue of sexual exploitation of children and strongly condemned the perpetrators.